Now when it comes to tiny cameras like this is a Pentax Optio H90, and I think it's probably one of the coolest looking tiny cameras that I own. When it comes to tiny cameras like this, that miniaturization obviously comes with some trade-offs, and in many cases, at least in my experience with the cameras that I've used, that trade-off is always image quality. That's to be expected when you've got a tiny camera like this. I mean, the thing is really small. Obviously the sensors are going to be small, which then generally means that you're not going to have as good an ISO performance. You're likely not going to have any stabilization. If you do, it's going to be electronic and kind of weird. It's usually over sharpened because cameras like this don't shoot RAW, it's just JPEG. So all of these things are sort of, you know, do degrade that image quality. But what they lack in image quality, you know, I think they make up for in fun. Now you could use your phone. I mean, your phone is definitely going to give you better image quality, definitely in video, but the problem with the phone is that it comes with that distraction factor that these simply don't. Well, most of these don't. I mean, the one that I showed on the video recently where it had games like Snake and Tetris built in, I mean, that was quite distracting. I didn't take many photos with that camera. But with the phone, it's our daily lives. It's our communication with everything, with the socials, with regular family members and all that sort of stuff. And like in my case, obviously I'll get comments on YouTube, I'll get comments and messages via Instagram, I'll get messages on my contact form on my website, all these kind of things, and they all come through to my phone. So you could be taking photos with your phone, but these constant distractions are going to be there. So this has no distractions at all. When you're shooting with something like this, as basic and as potentially bad as it actually is, it doesn't come with any distractions, so you're shooting with more intention, and I think that's what makes these better. Anyway, today I'm in town. We're going to go for a wander. It's lovely and sunny, so hopefully I'm going to get some stuff. I'm not expecting the world with a daft little camera like this, but it's good fun anyway. So yeah, let's give it a go. Something that you've got to bear in mind when you're talking about these tiny little cameras is that they were not designed for professional use. That's not what they're meant for. I mean, there were some, like the Canon PowerShot G10, for example, which would quite easily work as a backup camera for any professional in many different situations, given the zoom range it has and the reasonable resolution that this has. But generally speaking, little tiny things like this and these little fun brick things that have got like 5 megapixels and, you know, silly ones like this, which have got, you know, games and stuff in them, you know, these are not meant for the professional shooter. So when you think about these in that way, you can sort of overlook that lack of image quality and again focus on that fun factor. And now of course there are older cameras like the Canon PowerShot G10 and this little Lumix LX3, which are incredibly compact, not quite as small as that tiny little Pentax I've been using today, but they are incredibly compact and incredibly capable. These will all shoot RAW, they all have reasonable resolution, and the files are easy to work on, so you're going to get some good results from cameras like these. But because of the recent hype that all these little compact tiny cameras have been subject to, the prices are stupid. I mean, most of the time the prices are stupid. I mean, at the time of buying this Canon G10 as an example, I think I paid about £47 for it. Yeah, good luck with that, finding one like that price now. Not a chance. And it's the same with my LX1. I paid £20 for the LX1. Yeah, you're very unlikely to find one at that price now. So yeah, you're going to encounter a lot of very expensive, pretty garbage cameras. So again, going back to the beginning of the video when I said about your phone, the phone has kind of taken over. So these are kind of just like nostalgia pieces almost. You know, you're buying these not because they're really good, it's because they're not good. You know, it's because they're, you know, they have a specific look because you can't do much to the files, especially in the ones like this, which only shoot JPEG. And yeah, I mean, looking at some of the images from this that I shot, you can see that this only has, incidentally, this only has auto modes. There's no manual modes in this. You can't dial things in yourself. This makes all of the decisions for the most part. There are scene modes and stuff in there, but again, it's basically just more auto modes. And as a result of that, it often will shoot wide open, and wide open on this is really soft, like over the top diffusion filter, soft, you know. And I mean, you can dial some of that back a little bit, but the images are not sharp, but they do look fun, you know. And again, you've got to go into using these little tiny cameras with the mindset of them not being perfect, you know. I'm never going to get an image out of that camera that will match anything that the G9 or the Sony a7R II can do. But that's not the point of the camera after all. It's like, just have some fun. So when it comes to cameras like this, just bear in mind, you're not getting great image quality, you're not getting speed, you're not getting any of the fun stuff that is currently associated with a good camera, you know, that lots of autofocus points and it's accurate autofocus and face tracking and all of the megapixels. It's just, you're not getting that from these cameras. You're going to buy one of these cameras because it's just like, you look at it and you'll be like, yeah, that looks like fun, which is basically how I have decided on every one of these cameras when it comes to buying them. So all I will say in relation to buying these cameras is, if you are looking to get one of these cameras, don't expect them to be cheap anymore. If you find one for cheap, absolutely get it, because you know, at the very least you could probably resell it for a profit, but don't expect them to be cheap and don't expect them to be good. And at the end of the day, the likelihood is your phone, especially if you're using a modern phone or a high-end phone where it's got the multiple lenses on it, you're probably going to get better image quality out of that than you're going to get out of this. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.